from pole ahead of Pitama and Christian Daniel Jr. Carter Thompson 4th from Hakim Danish and David Gonzalez. Jaroslav Karpushin is 7th ahead of Zen Mitani and Sullivan Mounty. Great performance from the Brit there, good stuff from him. Leo Ramastorva takes off from 10th ahead of Martinez. Marco Morelli in 12th place. He'll expect...
Carlos Lovato giving him a few words of encouragement. Carlos Lovato, a fantastic rider back in the days of 250cc. He was 250cc world champion 1983 and 86, I believe. An absolute star back in the 80s. Practice and qualifying, it's hot today. So there is the 54 of Veda Podium, the 16-year-old Indonesian. He missed a few races, so he's down in 7th place in the cup points, but he's definitely a man to watch today. Oh, warm up, warm up.
God, Christian Daniel getting psyched up there, isn't he? I absolutely love it. He is up for the fight, isn't he?
He's the fastest rider out there. He said so.
Quality, absolutely legend. That's the kind of attitude I want to hear.
Yeah, that's it, right. They're coming under starters orders now for 13 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action. Who's going to make the start? Is it Brian Iriarte on pole position for the first time? The lights go out, the front row all get rolling well. And Christian Daniel Jr. tests the slot in behind Veda Podium. There's the 51. Brian Iriarte has the advantage, but is he going to hold that all the way? He's gone across to the right-hand side. He's now drifting over to the left. He tucks in behind Veda Podium on the number 54, who leads into the first corner.
What a start Veda Podium got from the middle of the front row of the grid, but he's neck and neck with Brian Iriarte as we climb up towards turns 2 and 3. Christian Daniel Jr. in 3rd. It's about 3-4 abreast in the back of the pack there. Morelli's made a climb up from outside the top 10, seemingly to about 10th or 9th position. All cleanly through. Look at the number 11 of David Gonzalez there in 4th position now. He's carrying through that good form from Aragon.
Yeah, and all the riders of the rookies have done a lot better than the MotoGP guys in getting through the first corner without...
Oh, you've jinxed it there, Peter. There's a couple of riders gone down in the background. Unfortunately, that was the worst commentator's curse I've heard in a long, long time, Peter.
Yeah, the worst timing, eh?
Yeah, absolutely quality. That. You owe him a couple of Red Bulls, unfortunately. Right. I was going to say, we can't do beers, too young, but there we go. There we have it. Well, hopefully the rider's all up and okay. It was the number 40 of Gabriele Tassini and the 72 of David da Costa.
Yeah, so David da Costa were just saying that...
oh, someone's gone really wide there in the background, unfortunately. Just about keeping it upright. Oh, that is Karpushin, the number 17. We were bigging him up in the pre-show, and unfortunately, it's all come away from him in this first race.
But a brilliant bit of off-track control there. Anyway, back to the leaders. There's the 51 of Brian Iriarte in 2nd place, being chased hard by Christian Daniel Jr., but Veda Podium has the advantage as they drop down onto the start-finish straight for the first time.
Hakim Danish, who started from 5th position, is just off the back of this lead group. The number 13, he's in 6th at the moment. He's got Morelli for company. Benyat Fernandez is up there as well. Ramaddeepa, the number 32, in 9th as well. But as we cross the line for the first time, it's Pitama from Daniel Jr. and Iriarte in your top 3.
Iriarte looking for a late braking manoeuvre into the first corner. He does it. Brian Iriarte, the poleman, takes the advantage away from Veda Podium as they sweep right-handed and go up the hill. It's the number 11 of David Gonzalez in 3rd place.
There is Danish, 6th position for your series leader by 30 points at the moment then. This is the yellow flag sector where we had that crash on the first lap then between Tassini and da Costa as they are being taken to the medical centre.
The 70 of Christian Daniel Jr. is there.
Well, that's a move and a half for Morelli up the inside of Carter Thompson. Carter Thompson pushed right back there, so that's Morelli up into 5th position now.
Yeah, and he can go well here. He's so frustrating because he has a great weekend and then a not so great weekend. He certainly is quick here. He was 3rd here, actually, first time out back in 2023.
Yeah, that was his first ever Rookies Cup podium, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and he was superb. But then last year, nowhere in particular. So, yeah. Anyway, he can do the job. And there is the number 70 of Christian Daniel Jr. up into 3rd place. But it's still Brian Iriarte that leads over the 54 of Veda Podium. There's the 7th of Benyat Fernandez. As I say, he came back off 3rd, having only qualified 13th. He's up into 7th.
Race, brilliant.
And Brian Iriarte said that he expected it to be a good big group at the front as Christian Daniel takes up the running.
Look at them all fan out, Peter. 5 riders, and it's Danish coming out on top into 1st.
He came from at least 7th place as he crossed the line there, back into 1st place.
And Iriarte is all the way down in 9th. Goodness me, that's racing at Mugello for you in a nutshell.
And Brian said he thought it would be a big group out in front. Danish said, look, if a couple of us can up the pace, maybe we can break it up. And that's obviously his thought now as he hits the front. Can he break it up? Can he take just a couple of guys with him? And the first guy that's behind him, of course, is the 95 Marco Morelli. Then Christian Daniel Jr. on the 70. There, you say, back in 8th place. Oh, that's the 50. That was actually 50 of Carter Thompson we saw in picture. And the 7th, I think Benyat Fernandez went up the inside there.
Yeah,
into third place.
Won. Yeah, that was a heck of a move because you can sacrifice a lot of your drive. It's a very, very steep hill up to Arrabbiata too. But as we switch back to the front, it looks like Benyat Fernandez going for the lead, but it's actually Morelli who takes it from him. Where did Benyat start from on the grid?
He was 13th.
Yeah, 13th, yeah, along with Morelli in 12th place. So they've had a heck of a first couple of laps.
Absolutely superb. And Morelli, a bit loose there on the brakes, but he's collected it all up for the sweeping right-hander.
And Peter, that's Ramadipa in 4th position then. Brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Absolutely superb. Yes, the number 32, 15-year-old Indonesian. Tassini Costa, yeah, taken to the medical centre for check all riders conscious. Well, that's good, reasonably good news. 13 is our Malaysian points leader, Hakim Danish, a 17-year-old Malaysian. He is in 3rd place, ahead of Ramadipa. And fanning out again, the 7 on one side of the track, the 95 of Marco Morelli on the other, but it is the 7 of Benyat Fernandez who has the slightest advantage. Who's going to be late on the brakes? Again, 5 abreast, is it? 51 is Brian Iriarte. As you say, he went from sort of 1st to 9th.
A couple of jostling in the background there, Peter, sorry.
No, so he went from 1st to 9th, and now he's gone back from 9th to 1st again.
Yeah, so effectively, whoever's in 9th coming down the start and finish straight at the moment is going to be near enough first at the first corner once again then. So Iriarte is, as you were, basically a lap ago, but with Ben Fernandez and Morelli up the top once again. Mitani's joined the fray as well now. The number 34 into 7th position.
Of course, then it's his first Rookies Cup season, but he's looking good, as you say, in 7th, he's in front of Danish. You're on board with the 13 of points leader, Hakim Danish. This climbing right-hander, Arrabbiata too, and over the hill now, up into 4th, and then Morelli goes up the inside on Brian Iriarte. Does he do it? I don't know. At the back there is the 13 of Hakim Danish. My goodness, that's close.
Danish got pushed back a little bit into the first turn. That one as Iriarte sides across the front of Morelli that time around into beyond into Correntaio, I think.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? Because Brian came really wide there and up the inside. You know, Marco tried to go into. And the 7.
What a run that was for Benyat Fernandez.
Yes,
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Biondetti 1 and 2, the chicane there just carried so much speed, didn't he? But Brian cutting the inside line, and Carter Thompson's gone off in the final turn. Oh, dearie me. He's gone down and not going to make it out of that turn, unfortunately for him. Him and Christian Daniel Jr. gone very wide there, but it is Thompson who's unfortunately come off at the final turn.
I think he got it slowed down before he ran out of room, didn't he?
Morelli's got a long lap penalty for irresponsible riding, apparently.
Okay, all right.
Wow, I'm not sure when that happened.
Which bit that was, but anyway, Hakim Danish, the points leader, and there's confirmation of Carter going down, unfortunately. The 13 of Hakim Danish has the advantage. There is the 7 of Benyat Fernandez. He was leading just a few moments ago, but it's all changed at the front. It's the 32 of Ramadipa in 2nd place, behind Hakim Danish, the points leader.
And then we've got Leo Ramersdorff in the number 5. Not seen much of him so far this weekend. He actually qualified down in 10th position, but now he finds himself inside the top 4.
And you know, I think he had a really great run in Aragon. It's really, you know, given him a tremendous confidence boost. And so watch out for the number 5. He's there and he's moving into 3rd place. He slots into 3rd. Is on the number 5 of Leo Ramersdorff, the 20-year-old Austrian. But it still is Hakim Danish who has the advantage over Brian Iriarte out front.
Brian nearly touching the back wheel of Danish then as he goes across the front of him. He loves a tough move into that part of the course, doesn't he? Goodness gracious me. We've got serious confidence in the front end to be able to do that. Iriarte, though, just fiercely determined. He knows at this stage in the season, Peter, 6 races left. 30 points to gap. He has to win, and then just hope for the best, doesn't he?
But look at number 5, Leo Ramersdorff there. This is absolutely superb stuff from the Austrian. He's just carried that enthusiasm and that confidence from Aragon, and he tucks into the slipstream of the number 51 of Brian Iriarte. There comes the number 7 of Benyat Fernandez. 3 abreast, going to be 4 abreast. 5, 6, 7 abreast. My goodness gracious me.
And it's the Japanese rider of Zen Mitani who looks as though he's going to have the inside line into turn 1, but no, it's Morelli who cuts across the front of him, and Pratama is the one out front. Goodness me. And they're all side by side going into turn 2. Iriarte's back in 10th again. He's got Joel Ponsford coming in. Look at the size of this group, Peter.
Absolutely incredible stuff. From as you say, Marco Morelli has a long lap penalty that he's got to perform, but the leader now is the 54 of Veda Podium, the 16-year-old Indonesian.
And it's all the way down down to 17th position now,
and
Peter.
I think he was on the green there, wasn't he? So he's got to watch that Veda if it looked suspiciously like he touched the green. And there is the number 95, the 17-year-old Argentine Marco Morelli, who has to do a long lap penalty.
Have we not seen it? Have we seen it on our TV screens? We've got it on our timing screens, but you know, we're not seeing what for.
No.
So you know, that information would be good to have.
Yeah, right. Okay. So back at the front here is Marco Morelli, who, whether he knows it, we know that he's got to have a long lap penalty. I didn't see the signboard go out. He should have a warning on his dash as well. And he's in 7th place. Right, the 7 of Beñat Fernandez, who came from 13th on the grid. He has the advantage.
I want to give a shout out to Giulio Pugliese from the back of the grid up to 9th position, and then just behind him Joel Pons, number 16. He's had a torrid start to his second season in Rookies Cup, but for seeing him up in the top 10 now, that's the best we've seen from him so far in his career.
You're on board with Hakim Danish on the 13 in 4th place at the moment as you go through the sweeping, climbing right-hand of Arabiata 1 and 2, 180 kilometres an hour, 112 miles an hour.
Carter Thompson did not actually crash. He rejoined, and he's in 20th spot. He's just overtaken Jaroslav Karpushkin. He is 10 seconds off the lead and 7.5 seconds off Marco Morelli in 17th.
So he must have stopped it just before he ran out of road. Superb stuff. Absolutely. His brother is here, his younger brother, who's the motocross expert, so maybe he's, taken some advice. Anyway, the 7 of Beñat Fernandez, who has the advantage now. Brian Iriarte is up into 2nd place. That's the 16 of Joel Pons in the middle of the group there, and as you say, a much better ride than he's had all season so far.
There is Carter Thompson then, running in 18th position. Still got a little bit of dirt on the outside of his tyres. Congrats to him, because that's a heck of a recovery he's on there. As we switch back towards the front, Ramadipa, the 32, going for 2nd spot. The Indonesian rider, Asia Talent Cup graduate into the Red Bull Rookies Cup, leads the way as they come down to San Donato, the 32. Brilliant ride for the Indonesian as they're about 6 abreast into the first turn. This is Rookies Cup at its wildest.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say how brilliantly they're doing, because that was a curse last time, but wow, look at this stuff. It is absolutely sensational, isn't it?
They are side by side, millimetres from each other, rubbing these sliders, elbows, you know, tyres to fairings and things like that, but they are managing it at such high speeds. These really are the motorcycle racing stars of the future.
The 32 of Kianda Ramadipa has the advantage, but Brian Iriarte right on his tail. Then comes the 13 of Hakim Danish and the 7 of Beñat Fernandez.
Lucas Brown has unfortunately crashed out on this lap. He's seemingly okay according to the timing screens as well. The 29 was having a run up with Carter Thompson for 18th.
And the 7 of Beñat Fernandez into 2nd place. Behind, is he going to go for the lead? No, he thinks better of it, backs out of it. The 31 of Giulio Pugliese. I said, you know, he came off the back of the grid.
We got Van Kruten's down as well, unfortunately. The Northern Talent Cup champion out of this one as well, but up and walking away.
Yeah, and hopefully he'll be fit and okay to have another go tomorrow. Well, Giulio Pugliese, as I say, the number 31 there.
From the back of the grid.
From the back of the grid, and here he is in 4th place.
Well then, still 12 minutes or so of racing to go, and it's still 16 riders. Morelli not making much progress back towards the front, Peter.
And, you know, somebody in this group isn't even going to get a point.
I know, what a shame.
Right, so as we come down to, it'll be just 5 laps to go. Kianda Ramadipa still has the advantage, but only just from Zen Mitani, the Japanese. Oh, and now there's using everything, bits of paint, everything there. Out across the road, who is going to have the advantage? The 31 of Giulio Pugliese, the local hero, almost has the lead in to the first corner, but in fact it isn't. It's Brian Iriarte.
All back towards the front then, your pole sitter. He's had to work hard for it to make it back there, and there is the rate position progression for Pugliese. 24 positions gained at least, and then some in this race so far. Fair play to him. No. Very good job.
And this isn't what Brian Iriarte wants to have, really, coming down towards the end of the race here, because you know, he's gone from 1st to 10th and back to 1st. He wants it to break it up if he possibly can, so he'll be putting in the laps as hard as possible now to see if he can get away from these guys. Oh, and the 7 of Beñat Fernandez, he doesn't worry about racing lines, he'll just take it anywhere there's a gap. He's up in the 3rd place.
Pace is pretty slow in comparison to what they were doing in things like in free practice 2 and qualifying. 1:59.8 the pole position time. Free practice 2, the top time at 2:01.0. So, you know, last time around, Ramadipa putting in a 2:02.7. I think that's why we've got such a big group of riders, Peter. I mean, a lot of them thinking about, you know, the slipstream down the start and finish straight, and perhaps no one really wants to lead out of the final corner. They see that you can lead out of the final corner in first, end up 10th by turn 1.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's so often the case here at Mugello. You know, Jorge Martin, when he won one here. He did dominate. He split and disappeared. But I don't remember anybody else doing it quite in the same way as Jorge Martin managed. Certainly not this weekend, from what we've seen so far. Right. Coming down, there'll be just 4 laps remaining. There it is, the 51 of Brian Uriarte. Moves across there. You can't do too much swinging around like that. That's not allowed, but just moving across is fine. You're on board with Hakim Danish in 9th place, but picking up the slipstream, going down the inside.
Oh, goodness me, it's Danish who's going through into the lead again with, that was Pugliese getting pushed wide. So Danish leads from Ramersdorfer and Pratama there in 3rd with Zenmitani in 4th. That is in the background. That's Joel Pons who got pushed out wide, unfortunately.
Yeah, but let's hope you can get back on the group. But, I mean, you were on board with Hakim Danish. You saw all the bunch around you, how tight it was, and still he managed to outbreak everybody at the inside and take the lead.
Well, those are all the gravel spattered from Van Kruchten and all Brown's crash there as we are into Casanova Cervelli. That was Uriarte up the inside of Christian Daniel Jr. as well. Arrabbiata 1 to Arrabbiata 2. Morelli starting to make a bit of a fight back.
It still is the number 13 of Hakim Danish, the points leader, who has the slightest advantage. But number 5 up the inside. Austria leads then. Leo Ramersdorfer, the 20-year-old Austrian, takes the advantage on the KTM. Austrian motorcycle, Austrian rider in front of Rookies Cup.
But for how long is the question, because Pratama just behind him there. He's actually focusing on Hakim Danish in 3rd position with Beñat Fernandez in 4th. Where is Ramadipur now? Is he being pushed right back across? He's in 9th position now.
And Uriarte's gone back to 8th, as you say. You know, you lead the race across the line and then end up back in 8th place. But the number 5 of Leo Ramersdorfer looking super cool out front now. I can't believe that it might be Leo Ramersdorfer who splits this group up, but they're going to have to cut. In fact, they already are in his slipstream. It's the 54 of Veda Podium who's come to the front again. And Leo just being swallowed up, actually, by everybody else.
Yeah, you can tell how slow they have been going in this race, really, because they've just put in mid-201, or late 201, some of the riders in this group, which means they've got a lot more speed in their pocket, which no one really wants to lead coming out that final corner, do they?
No, it's the 7 of Beñat Fernandez, the 17-year-old Spaniard, who now has the slightest advantage over Hakim Danish. There's the 51 I can see of Brian Uriarte back there. The time screen says 7th place. Sullivan
Mounsley just switching over to the left-hand side there. The number 4 British rider back in this group, then he can sniff a top 10. I mean, all of these riders can sniff a top 5, really, and that's part of the problem, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they've all got ideas, and there's the 9 of Luca Agostinelli, who's in 7th place. You don't hear us talk about him too often, but he's part of the mix at the moment, looking for a podium place.
Adopted Vietnamese rider living in Italy. What a story that Agostinelli has. He certainly carries himself like an Italian.
Yeah, indeed. And you know, Uriarte back to 8th, Ramersdorfer back to 9th, and they were in the lead just a few minutes
Morelli
ago.
up to 7th place, so he's just been biding his time as the 95. He's fighting back rather sensibly as Brian Uriarte dives up the inside once again. But Morelli gets the switch back as they come into the Biondetti chicane right now. Beñat Fernandez with the lead ahead of Danish and Pratama. Zenmitani is the best we've seen from him in Rookies Cup so far in his short career.
And it's 202 kilometres now, 125 miles an hour before they break and drop into the Boccini turn back into 2nd or 3rd gear.
And Hakim Danish was a perfect example of what the riders have been doing through that final corner. He was going rather slow there, it seemed, looking for a better slipstream, but he finds himself really boxed in there. Now coming across the line, about 8th or so position, but he's going to get a massive slingshot down towards turn 1. Look at them all go. They'll all fan out, but then who will end up in P1? Brian Uriarte for now.
Brian Uriarte. Now, Beñat Fernandez did lead out of the last corner, and he led across the line. So, you know, if you make a really good job of it, you can lead out of that last corner and win the race, but you've got to have 3 or 4 bike lengths lead. You can't have somebody on your tail, otherwise you're going to lose out. So the 51 it is of pole man Brian Uriarte, the 16-year-old Spaniard who has the advantage.
Christian Daniel Jr. started 3rd position. He's in 4th right now. He's been relatively quiet, sort of just sneakily going about it, not getting into, touch wood, too much trouble thus far. Now finds himself back in the Premier position. He's certainly got some good speed about him. Maybe he was right. Maybe he's got something in hand coming on to the final laps.
Yeah, he was so confident, wasn't he, before the race, and that was how he was when I spoke to him after qualifying. He really did feel he knew what he was doing around here. Happy with the motorcycle, happy with his... Oh, he's off from the green, I think. There, he can't afford to do that on the last lap.
Yeah, exactly.
51, it is there. Poleman Brian Uriarte that leads.
Well, now is is the moment it starts to get really rather tense. This final lap in Mugello, it's going to be all about finding your position to go onto the front straight out of the final corner, the run to the line. No major weaving. We don't want any repeats of what we had in previous years. But look at this now, Peter. This is where they're, you know, this is not ideal, really.
No,
you know.
but I think Brian Uriarte is going to try it now. Can he get in front? As I say, he knows he needs 3 or 4 bike lengths lead coming out of this Ascot, but he's not going to
going wide.
No, he's given it up.
You know what?
He doesn't want to.
The race direction and stewards aren't going to like this. They're not going to enjoy that at all. That's not what they want to see.
It is the 70 of Christian Daniel Jr. who leads the Rookies Cup race across the line onto the last lap here at Mugello. Alongside him is Zen Batani, the Japanese, on the 34, and they fan out. It's about 6 abreast. Brian Uriarte has the advantage up the inside, but he's already been swallowed up.
And it looks like it's going to be, it's Pratama who's going to be leading the way into turn 1 then. So from second on the grid, the Indonesian, he's the one who's outfoxing them all, with Pugliese, the Italian, from the back of the grid, up into second now.
And Brian Uriarte has been pushed back to at least 5th place, I think. Ahead of him is Angustinelli, Ramersdorfer's there as well, so Brian has got work to do on the last lap.
And they're starting to pull away, Peter. That lap last time around was a mid-2:02. That was rather slow, so they got some pace in hand. Who can break away?
And in 8th place is Hakim Danish, the points leader. He knows he doesn't have to win this race, but of course he's a racer. They don't want to just second. There is Marco Morelli. He goes past Brian Uriarte.
Arrabbiata 1, Arrabbiata 2, the long climb begins then for the riders, and it's still Pratama leading the way, eking out all the corner speed that he possibly can, as we now come over the top of the hill, the highest point of the circuit, and down they come once again and into this right and left-hander.
And Pugliese is in 2nd place. There is the number 11 of David Gonzalez in 3rd place.
He's just overtaken Agostinelli. What a ride this has been from the number 9, and this is it, Peter, then. We're going into the final sector then. Your contenders for this could well be any of the top 8.
And Veda Podium has the slightest advantage, but can he afford to be in front at this stage? Behind him is the 31 of Pugliese, the Italian hero.
Right, this is the final corner time. What kind of run can you get onto the start and finish straight again? Peter, take it away. It's going to be Pratama leading them out of the way.
Something moved on the bike. Veda Podium has the advantage, but I'm not sure he's got the drive, because the 31 of Pugliese is looking for slipstream. Veda Podium has it, though. No one's going to pass him surely before the finish. It's going to be Indonesia.
He's done it. He's done it. Pratama wins then. What a ride that was. He was the one who played it the most.
Back of the grid.
That is an impressive ride.
A great 4th. Morelli, after the long lap penalty, is 5th. Brian Uriarte from pole is 6th.
And then you have your championship leaders, Uriarte 6th and Danish in 9th position.
Absolutely.
Goodness me. Oh, he's actually been demoted to 14th. And that is because he went on the green as he came out the last corner. I did spot that, but I wondered if he was pushed wide.
Well, it's a quick response, isn't it? So what is he thinking of them?
Yeah, and the move towards... Is it 2nd or something? It did move, didn't it? He did move. I did read him in that position, but maybe it's changed.
I didn't. I only looked up just now and saw him. That's why I pointed. So I don't know where he crossed the line.
Well, maybe actually I was getting confused with the American flag and the
But now very much man of the moment here.
There he's going to greet his countryman and a fellow in Honda Team Asia teammate, or junior talent teammate Ramadeepa. Absolutely brilliant. Well done them.
Yeah, and David Gonzalez, you know, he started the year with an 8th in race 1 and then a fall in race 2 in Jerez, 10th and 11th in Le Mans, not starring. He was right onto it in Aragon with those superb 2 very, very close 3rd places, and now he's taken a 2nd place. So he's going to be a man to watch for the rest of the season. And he's definitely going to be taking the battle to...
Started all the way in the back on the grid, and now you're on the podium in your home GP. Tell us, how happy are you?
Incredible race. I start off back of the grid. Was very difficult, but I did my 2nd podium, so very, very happy. Thank you, my sponsors, my family, and the Italian fans, and Trenta Azzurri. Thank you very much. Tomorrow more.
Grazie mille.
That's it. We might get more from is the...
For my family and my sponsor. Thank you.
Fantastic job, thanks a lot.
So 4th in the European talent.
Into Singapore, but it was all about Pratama, who wins it here in Mugello. Take it away, Tommy.
Veda, you finally did it. Tell us how difficult this race was and how are you feeling at the moment?
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, today race 1, the race was really difficult because it was big group, and I didn't expect in turn 1 was that so many riders like that, Well, it's difficult race, but I'm really happy because finally I get the first position and I'm the winner for today. Yeah, tomorrow also, I hope. And yeah, I want to say thank you to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and thanks to my team, Astra Racing team, and thanks to my sponsor, MS Gloverman, Om Gilang. Thanks to my family, ayah, mama, my father, mother, and thanks all Indonesian people who always support me. Yeah, thank you very much. And tomorrow more. Tomorrow.
Yeah. Amazing. Very, very happy for you. Tomorrow more, as you said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Superb stuff, and he went with the best result of third at the Red Bull Ring, but he'd come to us having dominated the Asia Talent Cup with 9 first places out of 12 races. That's domination, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it really is looking like Indonesia's got a proper front runner that can go all the way through to World Championships and things. You've not seen results like this from a rider in that part of the region before, and it's exceptionally impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a number for David Gonzalez, and the winner, Veda Podium. I wonder if he knows the words of his own national anthem. We've seen saw Hakim Danish singing along, and we have the trophy being awarded by Walter Gianni, the Sport Performance Marketing Manager for Oakley, one of the great supporters of motorcycle racing. Great to see him enjoying the day here. So Walter Gianni, thank you very much for that, and he gives the winner's trophy to Veda Podium.
Well then, time for the Indonesian national anthem for the first time for Veda Podium.
So he clearly did know the words of the national anthem, Veda Podium. So tomorrow is race 8 of the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup for 2025. The second half of the season starts, and it starts early at 8:45 Central European time, with the show starting 10 minutes earlier. Until then, it's goodbye from Matt Dunn and myself, Peter Clifford.